Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we bring you 3 disturbing and terrifying school lockdown stories that will leave you trembling with fear. So fasten your seatbelts and prepare for a wild ride into the depth of terror. I'll tell you about a day that will be etched in my memory forever, when our school was thrown into chaos. It was a regular morning, with the sun shining and laughter filling the hallways. But little did we know that soon we'd be caught in a terrifying ordeal. I was sitting in my classroom, listening to the teacher, when the principal's voice crackled over the intercom.
Attention, students and staff.
He said, his tone filled with urgency.
We are going into lockdown. This is not a drill. Lock your doors, turn off the lights, and remain silent.
My heart raced as my teacher rushed to lock the classroom door, and we all huddled in the corner. Fear gripped us as we wondered what could be happening. The minutes ticked by slowly, and outside we could hear the muffled sounds of footsteps and hushed voices. A classmate, Sarah, whispered,
"What's going on? Why are we in lockdown?"
I don't know,
I replied, trying to stay calm.
but we need to be quiet and stay hidden.
As we crouched there in the darkness, fear and uncertainty hung heavy in the air. We could hear the faint sirens of approaching police cars, but we had no idea what was happening outside our classroom. Suddenly, the classroom door rattled, and a shadow passed by the window and the door. My heart pounded in my chest as we all held our breath. The intruder tried the doorknob, but it was locked. They moved on, and we let out a collective sigh of relief. The minutes turned into what felt like hours, and our anxiety grew with each passing moment. We could hear the police outside, their voices giving orders and trying to secure the school. But the tension inside our classroom was unbearable. Another classmate, Mark, whispered,
I hope they catch whoever is out there soon.
Just as he spoke those words, we heard a loud crash from somewhere in the school. It sounded like a door being kicked open. Panic spread through our group, and we huddled even closer together. The intercom crackled to life again, and this time it was the police.
"Attention everyone inside the school.
A stern voice said,
We have the situation under control. Stay in your locked classrooms until further notice."
Relief washed over us as we realized that help was on the way, but we still didn't know what had happened or who had caused the lockdown in the first place. After what felt like an eternity, a group of police officers came into our classroom. They checked to make sure we were safe, and then escorted us out of the school. As we walked through the hallways, we saw the damage caused by the intruder. A broken door, shattered glass, and chaos. It turned out that there had been a threat made against the school, and the lockdown was a precaution to keep us safe. The police apprehended the person responsible, but the fear and anxiety from that day stayed with us for a long time. We learned the importance of staying calm during a crisis and following lockdown procedures. It was a day we would never forget, a day when our school became a place of fear and uncertainty. I thought I'll never talk about that day, but here we are. A day when our school became a house of horrors. It was like any other day, with the students shuffling to their classes and teachers trying to keep order in the bustling hallways. But little did we know that the normalcy would shatter and we'd be plunged into a nightmare beyond imagination. I was sitting in math class, scribbling away in my notebook, when it happened. The lights above us started to flicker, casting eerie shadows on the walls. At first, we thought it was just a faulty bulb, but then strange whispers slithered through the corridors, whispers that sent a chill down my spine. My teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, looked around, her face pale.
Something's not right.
She muttered. Before we could react, the intercom buzzed into life, and the principal's voice quivered with fear.
Attention everyone. Lockdown procedure initiated. Close your doors, turn off the lights, and remain silent.
Panic surged through the classroom as we hurried to lock the door and huddled in the corner. Fear gripped us like a vice as we tried to make sense of what was happening. Shadows danced on the walls, and strange ghostly shapes seemed to move in the corners of our vision. Outside, we heard the slam of doors and the shuffling of hurried footsteps. It was as if the school itself had come to life, but not in a way anyone could have imagined. The fear of the unknown wrapped around us, suffocating and unbearable. Time dragged on, and the minutes turned into agonizing hours. We whispered prayers for safety and release, but there was only silence in response. The darkness outside our windows seemed impenetrable, and the only sound was the erratic beating of our hearts. Then the true horror began. Doors slammed shut with an invisible force, and our classroom windows rattled as if something were trying to get in. Desperation clawed at us as we realized we were not alone in this nightmare. The intercom crackled to life once more, this time emitting a chilling, rasping voice that sent shivers down our spine.
Are mine.
It hissed. Maniacal laughter echoed through the speakers. Tears welled up in our eyes as we huddled even closer, the fear nearly suffocating us. We had no idea what evil force was tormenting us, but it traveled in our terror. When the lockdown finally ended and the police arrived, we stumbled out of our classroom, our faces pale and our minds shattered. We were left questioning our sanity, the true nature of the malevolent entity that had tormented us within those cursed walls. That day, our school became a haunted place, plagued by unexplained phenomena that left scars on our souls. And as we left the building, we couldn't help but wonder if the evil that lurked within those walls had truly been vanquished, or if it still waited, biding its time for another chance to terrorize the living. back when I was 10 years old in a quiet suburban school. A horror had unfolded. It was an ordinary day, and students bustled in the hallways, teachers delivering lessons, unaware of the nightmare that was about to descend upon us. I was in history class, my mind wandering through the pages of my textbook, when an announcement came over the intercom. Panic gripped the room as the principal's voice trembled, ordering all students and staff to seek shelter immediately. It was no ordinary lockdown. It was a dire emergency. The teacher, Mr. Thompson, rushed to lock the classroom door, his hands trembling.
Everyone, get away from the windows and stay quiet.
He instructed us, his voice strained. Outside, the chaos was palpable. We could hear the frantic footsteps and muffled cries of terror as the intruder made their way through the school. Fear tightened its grip upon us as we realized that danger was approaching, and there was nowhere to run. Huddled together in the dimly lit classroom, we could only listen in horror as the intruder's footsteps grew closer and closer. Each step echoed in our ears, a chilling reminder of the terror that lurked just beyond our door. Time seemed to stretch into an agonizing eternity as we waited in silence, our hearts pounding in our chests. We exchanged terrifying glances, wondering if we would make it out of this alive. The uncertainty dawned on our souls. Finally, the sound of approaching sirens shattered the suffocating silence. Relief washed over us as we realized that help was on the way. The police had arrived, and their sirens wailed like a beacon of hope. The intruder's footstep grew faster. He was running, and we heard commotion in the hallway, shouts, and the scuffle of struggle, and the sound of handcuffs clicking shut. It was over. The nightmare had come to an end. Police detained the intruder, ensuring our safety and ending our torment. We emerged from our hiding places, our faces pale and our bodies trembling, but we were alive. Yet, the trauma of the fateful day would forever be etched in our memories and minds. The fear, the helplessness, and the chilling realization that evil could infiltrate the most ordinary of places would haunt us for the rest of our lives. Our suburban school, once a heaven of innocence, had become the backdrop for a terrifying ordeal that we could never forget. It was a day when we learned that even in the most unexpected moments, bravery and unity could triumph over the darkest of horrors. Thank you guys for joining us on this spine-chilling journey through 3 bone-chilling school lockdown stories. We hope you enjoyed the fright, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notification for more spine-tingling tales like these. Stay safe out there, and remember, reality can often be scarier than fiction.